In the quiet town of Salisbury, North Carolina, a tragic crime sent shockwaves through the community. The lifeless body of Brittany Lawrence, an 18-year-old recent high school graduate, was discovered by her stepfather, Reginald Weeks. The cause of her death was a chilling stab wound to her neck, leaving investigators bewildered and the family shattered. At the beginning, the investigators thought the crime might have happened because of a robbery gone wrong. But as they delved deeper into the case, unsettling revelations and shocking family secrets began to surface, turning this tragic event into a mind-bending and twisted mystery. Hi, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the most twisted case you've ever heard, the case of Brittany Lawrence. Salisbury is a captivating city in North Carolina. It sits nestled in Rowan County, with a history that's full of intrigue. The beautiful architecture and winding streets hide secrets just waiting to be discovered. Besides its lively and colorful art scene, with intriguing places like Rail Walk Studios and Gallery and the mysterious Salisbury Historic District, the city invites everyone with the promise of unimaginable discoveries. But in the shadows of this seemingly idyllic city, a veil of darkness lurks, concealing a tragic and mysterious crime that left everyone in a state of disbelief. Brittany Lawrence was born on May 7, 1987. Brittany was born to Roderick Loritts and Angela Vontina, and she had a special and captivating presence that seemed almost magical, captivating everyone around her. With a heart of an angel beating within her chest, she seemed destined for something extraordinary. Yet, as the hands of time marched on, shadows crept upon Brittany's family. Her parents' hearts grew distant, and they ultimately parted ways, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions shrouded in mystery. Angela found solace in the arms of Reginald Weeks, and together they forged a new life on 916 Scale Street, their dwelling seemingly unassuming to passers-by. Unbeknownst to the world, Brittany's real father, Roderick, remained a steadfast presence in her life, guarding her against the darkness that threatened to consume their once harmonious world. Amidst the enigmatic web of family dynamics, Brittany's life unfolded like an intricate puzzle. At North Rowan High School, she reveled in various activities that seemed to reflect a deep connection to an elusive purpose. As she donned her graduation cap in May 2005, a future of promise and dreams awaited her, and a future she hoped to mold through the pursuit of teaching. Yet fate had an inexplicable twist in store, as though destiny had entangled her life with a greater cosmic riddle. In a bid to unveil her destiny, Brittany made a firm decision to work diligently throughout the summer, taking up a job that offered both money and an unexplainable sense of growth. Her determination appeared unyielding, fueled by an unspoken force propelling her toward an uncertain but compelling fate. The enigma deepened as Brittany's half-sister, Brittany Loritts, stepped into the puzzle, a connection forged through the unknown. Brittany's origin from their father's mysterious past bound them together, forming a special bond that went beyond mere blood relations. Their destinies intertwined like an ethereal thread, weaving an unbreakable connection between them. On the eve of Father's Day, the sisters embarked on a journey to meet their shared progenitor, their hearts brimming with excitement and joy, as though the universe had orchestrated this reunion for an enigmatic purpose. Yet little did they know that this ethereal encounter would be their last, the final pieces of their intertwined lives drifting apart into the abyss. Sinister event reached the ears of the police. Urgent calls spoke of a ghastly stabbing at Brittany's abode, drawing Officer Brent Hall to the scene, his senses tingling with an enigmatic foreboding. As he stepped into the shadowy depths of her room, a shiver ran down his spine, a feeling of ancient energies entwined with the sorrowful tableau before him. Brittany's lifeless form lay on the floor, an enigmatic aura of tragedy hanging in the air, as if the room itself held secrets it longed to divulge. With a heart heavy with both grief and curiosity, Officer Hall meticulously recorded every detail, aware that the truth was buried beneath layers of enigmatic darkness. Blood-stained clothes and a fatal wound in her neck were but cryptic clues to a puzzle he yearned to decipher. Seeking solace amidst the tumultuous enigma, he turned to Brittany's father, Reginald, hoping to shed light on the shadows cast upon their lives. But Reginald, too, seemed haunted by enigmatic memories, unable to comprehend the enigma that unfolded before them. Officer Hall's instincts were not wrong. The gravity of the situation demanded immediate backup, and he wasted no time calling for assistance. Investigator Stephen Holmes and his team from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation promptly arrived at the scene, drawn to the enigmatic puzzle that lay before them. As they stepped into the house, an air of chaos greeted them, hinting at a potential break-in. However, their investigation began with a surprising revelation. There were no signs of forced entry. The absence of such evidence only deepened the mystery surrounding the crime. Their attention turned to Brittany's room and the scary sight of her body, not moving and tied around the neck, giving them a chilling feeling. Nearby, a wire hanger cast a shadow of suspicion, potentially linked to the ligature marks on her body. The enigmatic evidence pointed to a grim reality that Brittany had suffered both from stab wounds and strangulation, leaving the investigators grappling with the sinister depths of the crime. Detective Holmes meticulously pieced together the enigmatic clues, considering the possibility of a failed robbery gone awry. Yet the enigmatic paradox lay in the fact that nothing appeared to be missing. The family's possessions, including credit cards and valuable items, remained untouched. The enigmatic chaos within the house hinted at a desperate search for something undisclosed, but the enigmatic nature of that elusive something remained hidden from view. The team of inspectors did not give up, so they started a thorough search of the area, hoping to find a weapon that could give them important information. But none of what they did worked. After that, they decided to get a few more things to take a closer look at. This was a bunch of odd things, like an answering machine, blankets, a cell phone, checkbooks, a coat hanger, a computer, a jewelry case, and more. From Brittany's bedroom, they also took samples of hair, blood, fibers, and fingerprints. They hoped that any evidence they could find would help them figure out what had happened. After doing their jobs, the agents had to make the hard decision to take Brittany's dead body away from the scene. Her small body was moved carefully to the room where the autopsy would be done. Less than 24 hours after Brittany died, her mother, Angela, told what she did at work and said she was there from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Around 4 o'clock, she got back home. The attention then turned to Brittany's stepfather, Reginald, who told a heartbreaking story about deep loss and pain that was hard to imagine. He recounted to the police that on that dreadful day, he had left his house at around 7 a.m. His destination was Bourbon Street, where he was heading for work. Then he went to a different place on Pinewood Avenue to fix a bathroom. He said that after that, he was going to meet a woman named Amanda Scott, whose house needed work. But before he did this, he and his father went to his house to get some papers. The next part of Reginald's story was about the scary thing he found inside the house. He called for Brittany because he saw that the drawers and computer stand were open. But no one answered. He said that his fear grew as he got closer to her room and saw her lying still on the bed. He tried to wake her up, but he could not believe it when he saw that she had a cut on her neck. As he held her close to his chest, he could not help but cry out. The way Reginald explained it sounded like it could be right. He was also willing to work with the cops in every way. Even on his own, he agreed to take a polygraph test. When the police were happy with what he told them, they turned their attention to Brittany's real father, Roderick. But when they asked around, they quickly found out that he was not a suspect because he was out of town at the time of the crime. Investigators did not have any clear leads to follow, so they worked hard to find out more about the crime from people in the neighborhood where it happened. They went door to door in the area and asked people if they saw or heard anything strange the day Brittany died. On that day, some people said they saw a man running between houses, which was odd. No one had looked at them closely enough to describe them in detail, though. Even though they had a setback, the detectives kept looking for justice. They did it because they wanted to help the family get over the terrible loss and move on with their lives. As the investigation went on, the details of Brittany's autopsy came out, which gave more information about how she died. It was found that she had been strangled and knocked out with a coat hanger. But in the end, it was the deep cut on her neck that killed her. Brittany's body did not have any marks of self-defense, and there was no alien DNA on her. During the test, something worrying came to light. It was discovered that she had injured herself in a place that is not visible. During the autopsy, the medical inspector thought that it might have been the result of two people doing something together. When the cops found out about this, they went in a different direction and started to think that Brittany might have had an unusual and possibly dangerous sexual encounter that involved strangulation. They started to think that her death might have been a terrible accident that happened when a planned meeting went wrong. They started to think that the person who killed her might have been scared and messed with the crime scene. With this shocking turn of events, detectives knew that the key to solving the case was to find out what was going on in Brittany's personal life. Their research led them right away to a young man named Terry. Before she died, Brittany went out with him. As Terry sat down for an interview with the police, they could feel the weight of his sadness and real loss in his eyes. Terry said that he had been dating Brittany for a few months, but that they had broken up 2 weeks before she died because her family was going on a trip. He also told them where he had been on the day that Brittany died. After the conversation, the investigators carefully looked over Terry's story, trying to put it in order and figure out what it might mean. They thought he did not have anything to do with Brittany's death because of how quickly he helped them and how sad he looked. Still, questions remained. Who else might know the truth? What lies were hiding under the surface of Brittany's life, which seemed normal? As rumors spread, people began to wonder about another man called Jerome Buckler. He used to date Brittany, and because he had a difficult past and a criminal record, he could be a person of interest. But when the cops questioned him, he showed strong feelings and volunteered to take a polygraph test. He also gave samples of his hair and blood to show that he was not guilty. As the probe went on, several interesting things happened that made the case even more complicated. Angela, Brittany's mother, told investigators that Brittany had an abortion 5 years before she died. Even though they tried to find out who had gotten her pregnant, Angela became defensive and would not give any more information. Because of this, the detectives gave Angela and Reginald their full attention. They were able to get pictures of the couple's house that were taken on the day they were killed. And when they looked closely, they made an interesting discovery. Reginald was in some of the pictures, and detectives noticed something important. There were no bloodstains on his shirt. It was a fact that went against his story that he held Brittany in his arms. This is because if he had done it, her blood would have gotten on his shirt. This inconsistency made people wonder if Reginald's story was true, so they looked at him more closely as a possible suspect in the case. Then, to check if Reginald's alibi was true, investigators carefully looked at the plan he said he had. On the day of the sad event, he said he left home at 7 a.m. for work and returned home after some time had passed. But they soon found out that what he said was not true. They were able to find 2 people who said they saw Reginald turn around and go back home soon after he left. These people also remembered seeing Reginald at his house around lunchtime looking upset. Because of these results, the police chose to look into Amanda Scott, the woman Reginald said he would meet for repair work. However, it was hard for them to find out anything about her. There were no papers or other proof that she was real. Despite all the problems, the police became surer that Reginald was to blame for Brittany's death. The most important question that was still open was whether or not the murder was planned or if it happened because of a fight. As their investigation went on, they found proof that Brittany and Reginald had a troubled and tense relationship. Brittany's half-sister, Brittany Loritts, told the police that Brittany did not like Reginald very much. She conveyed that Brittany's freedom of movement and ability to participate in various activities were severely limited. As a result, Brittany was unable to fully embrace the experiences and opportunities typically associated with adolescence. She said that he was controlling and that he often would not let Brittany do anything outside the house without his watch. Friends of Brittany also spoke up and talked about times when she was worried about Reginald. Brittany told a friend that she had been abused by him, which was a scary thing to hear. But when the friend got angry and threatened to call the police, Brittany quickly took back what she had said and begged her friend not to tell anyone. These new details formed a picture of a guarded and dangerous relationship between Brittany and Reginald, which made detectives think he played a key role in her untimely death. Investigators soon put together a scary chain of events that took place on that terrible day. They thought that Brittany and Reginald got into a heated fight the morning of the day she died. When Reginald's anger got out of hand, he lost control and did something very bad. He used a coat hanger to tighten his grip around Brittany's neck as he held her down on the bed. Brittany lost awareness as the stress grew. Reginald got scared when he realized what he had done and chose to kill her by stabbing her in the neck. Then, out of fear and panic, he set up the crime scene to hide the truth about what he had done. He hurt Brittany's private parts, which was a scary turn of events. Also, he trashed Brittany's room and the rest of the house to make it look like a failed robbery, which made the truth even harder to figure out. Investigators went up to Reginald with all of this proof in hand. Even though they said he was guilty, he always insisted he wasn't. Even though there was more and more proof against her husband, Angela never stopped supporting him. Reginald and Angela both went to a lawyer as soon as they realized that a storm was coming. After this, the police tried to get blood and hair samples from Reginald to strengthen their case against him. But the couple was not going to give in. Only when a judge stepped in and issued an order did Reginald have to do what the police wanted. Finally, on August 12, 2005, detectives used a search warrant to take Reginald into custody and charge him with first-degree murder. It was a big step in the right direction in their quest for justice. The people in the town watched with bated breath, waiting for the truth to come out. A few days after Reginald's arrest, there was a preliminary hearing. During the meeting, the judge told him that he might get the death sentence. On October 19, 2005, Reginald was released on a $350,000 bond. However, his freedom was short-lived as on February 2, 2006, he was arrested again. This time, he faced charges related to the attack in Brittany's case. Surprisingly, on a bond of $500,000, higher than the first one, he was set free, leaving everyone in the town shocked. The fight in court got worse from there and went on for months. In 2007, Reginald made an Alford plea, which let him keep saying he was innocent even though there was a lot of evidence against him. Because of the plea deal, he did not get a term that could have been worse. He admitted to murder and assault in the second degree, which are less serious crimes. In 2008, Reginald got the longest possible jail time, 11 years and 8 months. As part of the deal he made to admit guilt, he started his probation on January 20, 2015. He was finally free to leave in March 2015. People who were sad about Brittany's death found the end of his prison term bitter because the punishment did not seem as bad as the pain of losing her. The case of Brittany Lawrence is still a sad tragedy with many unanswered questions and troubling facts. May her memory serve as a powerful reminder, urging us to take action by recognizing the signs of abuse, assisting those in need, and striving for a world where everyone feels secure and appreciated. But as this part ends, one question remains. Why did Brittany's mother, Angela, choose to stand by Reginald even though the evidence pointed to him being guilty? Tell us what you think in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment on it, and share it. Keep yourself safe, and thanks for watching.